Go ahead and roll for perception.
I got an 18.
Ooh, 18 is really good. With that, you can see some advertising space available.
So you're telling me if I have a product YouTube channel or podcast that I want advertised, I could do it here?
That's right, and you can get more details by emailing thedungeoncast@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'll have to do that. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Will.
I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from gregarious guests to grappled gangsters. And today, we're talking about Graz'zt. Okay, Brian. So today we're talking about Graz'zt.
Yeah, what?
Our third demon lord.
Graz'zt.
Yeah. Okay, so I pronounce it Graz'zt, or I think I used to pronounce it Graz, but I've kind of moved to Graz'zt. But there's no official way I could find to pronounce it. I've seen a lot of people pronounce it Graz'zt or Graz'zt, and of course Graz'zt or Graz'zt.
Well, I'm going a totally different direction because that's a conjunction, my friend, when you add an apostrophe like that to two words. So it's Graz'zt.
Yeah, sure. You could definitely see it like that. I think I read on the official Dungeons & Dragons Twitter, somebody wrote that it's grats, like rats, or like congrats. But that doesn't really make sense because the T's at the end. So I'm going with Graz'zt or Graz'zt. I'll probably switch between the two.
It's congratulations.
Sure. So Graz'zt is one of the Abyss's most powerful, feared, and infamous demon lords. Canonically, he's only beaten out in power by both Orcus Demogorgon. That name's going to be said a lot in this episode.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. And honestly, when it comes to Graz'zt's influence, territory, armies, and his alliances, he's at least as strong as those two, if not outright better. He's also one of the original Demon Lords. He's original Gary Gygax's creation.
Okay.
And he's been around since the Monster Manual 2 of 1st edition.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, very early. Extraordinarily early. He was also the Demon Lord, I think, Gygax used the most in his own personal writings. Because Gygax wrote a lot of novels based in his world of Greyhawk. We'll have to talk about those one day.
Yeah, nobody really, I don't see a lot of Greyhawk.
Well,
I see it. I definitely see it.
Greyhawk was always kind of like the default. Until it wasn't.
Until Forgotten Realms?
Yeah, basically. So kind of until 4th edition, really.
Okay.
But even then, in 3rd edition, I think a lot of people were playing Planescape because it got really popular.
Planescape is the space one? No, that's Spelljammer.
That's Spelljammer,
what's Planescape?
I wouldn't even call Spelljammer a space adventure either. But
it has space elements in it?
Kinda, yeah. Planescape is... it's kind of traditional D&D with a way higher focus on planar lore. And like the city of Sigil and like lots of devils, lots of angels,
that comes
lots
up.
of gods.
That has come up a lot.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
It's probably one of the most popular settings.
Okay.
Also in 3rd edition, that's when Eberron came out. Also Darkstone was popular. And then 4th edition had its own setting. And now we're in 5th edition. Now Forgotten Realms is the default setting.
Okay, so 5th edition is when Forgotten Realms really takes hold. So 4th edition is its own like vanilla setting?
Yes, 4th edition is its own setting.
That's why it has all the specific lore, huh?
Exactly. And it's divorced from all the other settings.
That's
weird. I really like the 4th edition setting personally.
It's like exactly like comic book reboots.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like 4th edition is very much the new 52 of D&D. But anyways.
I love the new 52.
Back to Graz'zt. New 52 is cool. There's things I love, things I hate. But anyways.
Oh, that's true. So I do hate some things about
We've talked about the legendary rivalry between Orcus and Demogorgon fairly extensively on the show. But there's a third major piece to their story and their rivalry, and that third piece is Graz'zt. The three of them are locked in a three-way stalemate that has lasted for centuries. Whenever one gains ground on the other, the third is there to strike the victor's back.
Okay.
This ongoing war is in some ways at the very center of all conflict in the Abyss, and it pulls an unfathomable amount of resources and demon power away from the Blood War. Some people say that the amount of resources that this is taken away from the Blood War is by design. To keep the demons from being able to win.
But isn't it in their nature to do things like this?
We're going to get into what I mean when I say this.
Okay.
Because it's like a conspiracy theory lore kind of deal.
So like the way I'm looking at it is if the demons became lawful and organized with a goal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're innumerable.
Because infinity.
Yeah, exactly. And they're also very powerful too.
Yeah.
But you're going to see what I mean when I say some people say that it's by design as you learn more about who Graz'zt is. Mm-hmm. So Graz'zt is known as the Dark Prince of the Abyss. He's the Demon Lord of despotism, debauchery, and hedonism. He takes the appearance of a 9-foot-tall humanoid. His skin shines like polished obsidian, and his eyes glow a malevolent green. He has yellow fangs, pointed ears, and 6 fingers on each hand.
That's cool.
He has thick, short black hair that half hides 6 small horns on his head. It is said he is the single comeliest of all demonkind, a warning that not all beautiful things are good. Every curve and angle of his body and face is said to be aesthetically pleasing. He oozes seduction and temptation. Despite all of this, a certain wrongness pervades his beauty, and his fiendish qualities are very obvious. The dark allure of his appearance promises both pleasure and pain.
So it's like a Lovecraftian reimagining of Darth Maul.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I heard the 6 small horns, but
Darth Maul has like
dark
20
obsidian
horns.
skin. No, he's got he's just got a few.
He's got at least a dozen. He's got at least a dozen horns.
I'd say a dozen at most.
I would say a dozen at least.
We're gonna pull up a Darth Maul screenshot.
Right. Okay, we will.
The short rest.
Sure, absolutely.
But no, that sounds really cool. It does sound kind of Lovecraftian in the way, like the obsidian black skin.
Yeah, but
some of the descriptions are kind of mixed in with other things.
A lot of the abyssal stuff kind of tinges on that Lovecraftian kind of feel, which makes sense. Like if you look at like our episode on the Abyss, we talk about the Oberonths, which are essentially Cthulhu monsters,
right?
And they were the original demons, so they're kind of intertwined. And actually, that's a really good connection because we're going to get into Grazz's origin, and he's sometimes tied to the Oberonths, and so we'll get into that. So as a demon lord of debauchery and hedonism, Graz'zt surrounds himself with only the finest of things and attractive servants, namely succubi and incubi, meriliths, lamias, harpies, tieflings, and cambions. These are the ones that make up most of his army. He's not big on actually having army made up of mostly demons. Obviously, he's in the Abyss. He has plenty of demons, but his most notable servants are kind of outside regular demons.
Tieflings? Did you say tieflings?
So this is where we get into confusing territory because back in the day, tieflings used to be not necessarily devilish. Honestly, they were way more common to be demon than devil.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, we've talked about this multiple times.
Man.
So tieflings from 2nd edition basically just meant you had fiendish blood somewhere in your bloodline.
Yeah.
And that could be from anywhere. It didn't even have to be from...
No, that's ringing a bell now.
Yeah, it could even be Yugolith.
Right,
You could even have a Yugolith great uncle.
But typically now in 5e, it's devil.
Ever since 4th edition, in 4th edition, they made it devil only, and they made it the streamlined, like, organized actual race.
Okay.
That bred true. 5th edition carried that over, but then a lot of the old schoolers like complained. So in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, you have the option to not do that, which is then further expanded upon in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Okay.
So you can have either or both.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say that this is obviously supposed to be demons, but there's further lore later that might imply that maybe some of them are devilish. We're going to get into that later. But yeah, he adorns himself in silks and fine leathers. He considers restriction to be the only real sin. He takes what he wants, and his lairs are palaces of pleasure and pain.
Okay, cool. So very chaotic.
Not really.
But being restricted, like, is the only... So if I have to obey law...
When it comes to pleasure.
Oh,
like, he basically what he's saying is he doesn't believe in moderation.
Okay.
It's all about doing what pleases you.
Right.
Because it pleases you.
Okay.
But when it comes to is Graz'zt chaotic evil? No.
Okay.
He's the one demon lord that's not, and we're going to get into that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So despite his reputation for debaucherous distraction, Graz'zt is neither slothful nor frivolous. His greatest weapon is his guile, and some say he may be the most cunning and intelligent creature in the entire Abyss. Graz'zt is a master politician, and... Where were they? He's a master politician, and when possible, he solves his confrontations with diplomacy and deals. He uses clever words and false promises to trick foes into serving his needs. Furthermore, he's a master tactician and strategist, thinking steps ahead of his rivals at any given moment. And his strategies have served him well. He holds 3 layers of the Abyss collectively, referred to as the Triple Realm. Many say that, like his triple realm, Graz'zt holds 3 times the number of plots and goals as any one other demon lord.
Come on, baby, you want to come see my triple realm? That's way more than, that's like 2 times, that's like 2 more than most of the demon lords.
He holds more territory than any other demon lord.
That's crazy. Yeah. So basically, you kind of started describing Asmodeus to me a little bit in there.
It's interesting that you make that connection. We're going to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Some say Graz'zt is the most human-like of the demon lords. This may be due to his humanoid appearance, his more diplomatic approach to conquest, and his interest in the carnal arts over the killing ones. And he also has a very unique amount of respect and interest in the mortal world, mortals, and mortal activity.
Like more than your average
your average demon lord, which is to say most demon lords don't give a shit at all.
Yeah, they're just going to come stomp.
But Graz'zt, number one, he's smart, and he realizes that mortals are very valuable, and he cultivates his cults a lot in the mortal realm. But also, he's been humbled by a mortal who basically enslaved him for some time.
No.
I wish we could talk about it this episode, but I have so much to talk about. I had to leave out the story of him and Igwilv. She's a sorceress who like enslaved him. She is going to get her own episode, and that's where you're going to get that story.
Like a humanoid person is going to get their own episode?
A humanoid person, yeah.
Is that where we're
there's other humanoids that are going to get their own episodes.
Well, yeah, but have we done?
We haven't yet.
Yeah,
so there's so much to cover.
Wow, we're gonna because we're always like, oh yeah, we'll do a what's his face episode.
Right.
You know who I'm talking about?
Elminster, Draz'zt.
Yeah.
And we will. And like, I don't know, I'll call D&D heroes.
Oh,
like
nice.
Elminster, Draz'zt, Raistlin-Magir, Igwilv.
Mordenkainen.
Mordenkainen, yeah, he'll get his own episode. Volo, he might get his own episode.
I like Volo a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of NPCs, if you will, that will get their own episodes, because a lot of these NPCs can serve as great, NPCs, but also great like bad guys a lot of the time in your campaign.
Yeah,
your bad guys don't always have to be like these big level demon lords and gods and all this other stuff. It can be much more smaller scale and still be very epic.
It could just be a dude fuck it up.
Exactly. And so we'll get into that.
Like Volo going down into the fucking the Mad Mage and like letting something out. That'd be a cool thing to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Where was I? Okay, so yeah, a lot of people see Graz'zt as like very human-like. Others, though, mostly demonkind, see his love of politics and his plays of weak behavior, his plays of like diplomacy and deals and all that as being comparable to the behavior of archdevils.
Oh, yeah.
And some call his triple realm the Little Hells.
Okay.
Graz'zt is neither weak nor is he very human-like. In combat, it's said that Graz'zt is a veritable killing machine. In one hand, he wields an acid-drenched greatsword called the Wave of Sorrow, and in the other,
God,
yeah, it's a really dope-looking sword too, because it looks like a wave, and then it has like a hook at the end.
Ooh.
And it's massive. I mean, it's a great sword, and he holds it in one hand.
And you get really sad when he hits you
with it. You get really
it.
sad as you die.
Everybody around you gets really sad too.
And then the other hand, he has a towering, what they call a profane tower shield. I don't know what that means. I couldn't find a profane tower shield, but I'm basically just picturing a tower shield that just looks really demonic.
It's got a really provocative, like nude demon on it.
Yeah, there you go. He also has a vast repertoire of spell-like abilities at his disposal, including the ability to charm, dominate, or beguile, to cast unholy blights, to dispel magical effects. He has at-will teleportation, and he has numerous defensive spells. Although Graz'zt does participate in the Blood War, his ultimate goals lie much closer to home. He has 2 major life missions. 1, kill Demogorgon and take the title of the Prince of Demons for himself. He really wants that title.
Yeah, man.
That's the main reason he hates Demogorgon.
Because what did we call him in the beginning?
The Dark Prince.
So that's like kind of encroachment on the. I
mean, yeah,
the Demon Prince's
it's
name.
Obviously alluding to wanting the Prince of All Demons title. But I think he has a name for a couple reasons. One is tied to his origin, and the other is tied to just the way he behaves. Like he acts like this regal, just regal tyrant. So he really is like a dark prince. Well, Demogorgon, on the other hand, who is the prince of demons, he's just kind of this big monster.
Yeah,
he doesn't really act like a prince or a king in any way, shape, or form.
2-headed, tentacle-armed Godzilla.
Exactly. Yeah, very much so. But
lives in a dope castle.
Right. So what was I saying? So yeah, his first goal, kill Demogorgon, take the title of Prince of Demons for himself. His second is complete and total conquest of the Abyss. And then he wants to craft a union between the Abyss and all the other lower planes, between all of fiend kind, and then bring a war to the powers of good.
Okay.
So he wants to unite all of evil. He's like, chaotic evil, lawful evil, it's all bullshit. We're all in this together. Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys.
That's his end goal.
Every demon and every devil is Brain from Pinky and the Brain. We're like, what are we going to do tonight, Brain?
Same thing we do every night.
Yeah, we're going to try and
take over the universe.
Try to take over everything.
Yeah, exactly. Where was I? So he spends more time manipulating, allying with, and betraying his fellow demon lords than he does anything else. So like he's part of the blood war, but he's not really. He only puts as much effort as he needs to so that people don't bug him.
Okay, yeah. Because like, why would I blood war when I could do my other thing, which would be like the ultimate affront of our end of the blood war.
Right.
Well, you end the blood war if you do that, right? Pretty much. If he wins, the blood war ends, and then he just has an assault on like Mount Celestia or whatever.
Yeah, basically. Well, okay. No, if he wins, the blood war would end because then he would then win that very quickly.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely. So because of all of this kind of plotting he does, his various alliances, rivalries, and relationships form an ever fluctuating and incomprehensible web that only he's able to keep track of.
Okay.
Like he could be in like a gridlock war with one demon lord one day. He'll work out a deal. Suddenly they're allies and they're attacking somebody else together. He does this all the fucking time.
Right on.
So you can never keep your finger on the guy.
Okay.
So yeah. The combination of his extraordinary political savvy and his penchant for sexual conquest has led to many of the more legendary of demonic exploits in history, including the imprisonment of a goddess, the deposing of multiple demon lords. That's another thing he's got under his belt. This motherfucker's killed a few demon lords.
That seems so backwards.
He's got 3 realms for a fucking reason.
Yeah, because those guys, he got rid of those fools.
When it comes to like,
are they of note? Are they?
Some of them are like he fucked up Adamarcus. He was a pretty big demon lord.
Oh wow.
I can't remember the names of the couple others he's taken out, but I mean they've been kind of smaller scale. Obviously he's fighting Orcus and Demogorgon in like this eternal stalemate for a reason.
Right.
But like the idea here is that if Graz'zt and Orcus like went toe to toe, Graz'zt would get stomped.
Right.
Grazz's power, though he is very powerful in his own right, his power comes from his guile and his strategy.
Yeah, his environment. Like
exactly.
He's loading his gun with all kinds of anything he can get his hands on, it sounds like.
Right, exactly. It's the difference between what's it called? Inherent power and granted power.
Yeah, or like allied power.
Well, yeah, that's what granted power. Okay. He's given power from his underlings. Like so exactly that. Okay. Which is more powerful, inherent or granted power? Granted power is definitely more powerful. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, his exploits. So he's imprisoned a goddess before, deposed multiple demon lords. He's infiltrated into the upper echelon of Lolth's priesthood and caused a major schism in the faith.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's done a lot. And he's fathered countless powerful children that serve him in some way or other.
Okay.
Like a lot of his lieutenants are children from like powerful mortal sorceresses or other fiends and stuff like that. You know? Which that's another reason he takes a lot of interest in the mortal realm, because he realizes how powerful mortals can be. And like those who rise up high into the ranks of his cult, he might use them for progeny. So yeah,
I always thought of demon lords as like these singular entities with maybe like, nameless hordes of regular demons. They have they all have like this entourage of uber powerful motherfuckers that are gonna go slay whoever.
Exactly, it's very true. Yeah, they roll around like a bunch of gangs. It's so true. So there's even a rumor that Graz'zt is near the completion of a plan to absorb one of the material planes into the abyss and form a 4th layer under his rule.
Oh shit, okay.
But that's just a rumor. No one knows.
No one knows until it happens.
Indeed.
And all of a sudden you live in the fucking abyss.
Right, exactly. And we'll find out more about Graz'zt after the short rest.
Okay. Drawn to Action is an RPG based on the rules and realities of the cartoon universe. Players create a cartoon character that fits perfectly into a specific genre of animation, like pre-1940s black and white, offensive satire, Saturday morning skits, you name it, before you and your teammates go forth and make yourselves into legends. Craft a campaign based off of your favorite cartoon inspirations, and remember, if you've seen it in a cartoon, it can happen. If If you would like to play this wonderful game, go to smashwords.com and search for Drawn to Action, or search by its author's name, Justin Blaisdell, that's Blasdel, and download it for free. Hey everybody, welcome to the part of the episode we're not talking about the last thing we're talking about this new thing, but it's not that new, and it comes from our hearts. Will, tell them what it is, because I know that you know what it is.
It is our love.
Our love for who?
For our audience?
Anyone that can hear us.
For anyone that can hear us, yes.
Yeah.
Or see us.
Hear us, see us. You can't see us right now, but you can definitely see the background.
I forgot about that part.
Will puts all this together, does a really good job with our image work.
Oh, thank you.
Drink that very far away from the mic. We got new microphones. Thank you, Patreon. They're very sensitive, so you're going to extra hear Will gulping his drink from now on. Hell yeah.
I'm going to have to be careful of that.
I am so excited. They sound so good. They look real good. It's very professional. I feel very professional. Do I sound very professional? That's up for you to decide. Let's talk about some people who made this happen and continue to make this happen, because we're skyrocketing towards our next Patreon goal. So yeah, this is about patrons. Thank you, Video Game Devil.
Thank you, Video Game Devil.
Thank you, Lundaflow.
Thank you, Lundaflow.
Or Lundiflow. Thank you, Nico Hunter.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you, Mariko's little bro.
Thank you, Mariko's
little bro. It's a pretty funny
bro.
name. Like everybody in the Discord knows who that is, I feel like.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam LeBlanc.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Logan Weeder.
Thank you, Logan.
Weeder. Thank you, Michael Miller.
Thank you, Mike.
That's a nice alliteration.
You
Michael
might not
Miller.
like Mike.
He may not like Mike.
Yeah. I thought about that because I have a friend named Michael, but he goes by Mikey.
Mikey. I know a guy named Mike. He goes by Magic Mike.
Okay.
He's a
well, thank you, Michael.
He's a dancer.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Cool. It's just one name. Thank you, Christopher.
Christopher or Christopher?
Well, it looks like Christopher because it's Kristoffer.
Okay.
Knutson? Knutson.
I'm not sure, but thanks, Chris.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Alexander Robinson.
Thank you, Alexander.
That was a long list. I've never had to scroll before doing that, so sorry if I dipped away from the microphone and you stopped hearing me real good. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. If you want to help the show out, you can go to our Patreon, thedungeoncast.com/Patreon, or you can just tell somebody about the show, because that's awesome. I see all of you out there. I see you. You're telling people about the show. It's fucking awesome. We see it in the numbers. It's reflecting. We tell you to tell people about the show. I think you do, and then we see it, and it makes us happy.
Indeed.
And we hope that what we do here makes you happy. We have a great time making the show, and we put a lot into this. Making time sacrifices to make this show. Me and Will put a lot of work into it. So it's really great to see all of you coming out and supporting us. Thank you so much. We're constantly trying to make a better product. If you have any feedback or critiques, hit us up at thedungeoncast@gmail.com, or hit us up in the comment section of whatever it is you are watching or listening to. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
We've returned.
We were somewhere, but now we've returned.
But now we're here. So let's talk a little bit on the origins of Graz'zt. There are kind of two theories. One comes from 4th edition, and the other comes from every other edition.
Okay.
Which is very common. That's a common thing I say on the show.
Yes.
So we're going to start with the 4th edition one. 4E posits that at some point in the ancient days that Graz'zt was a powerful devil, a trusted advisor and lieutenant of Asmodeus. It is said that Asmodeus gave Graz'zt a mighty devil army and sent him on a massive invasion into the abyss. The invasion was initially quite successful in its beginnings because he was able to conquer and occupy 3 whole layers of the abyss. The forces of Demogorgon and Orcus, though, came together and stalled Grazz's infiltration and ended up locking him into a permanent stalemate. Eons of exposure to the abyss ended up corrupting and warping Grazz's nature of his mind and soul, and eventually he severed his ties to Baator and became a Demonlord. Rumors abound, though, that his public rejection of Baator may be itself an elaborate ruse. Grazz's true purpose may be to maintain the stalemate between Demonlords in order to drain resources away from the Blood War and give the devils an inside headquarters if the tides ever turn. This may explain Grazz's more devilish and orderly behavior and why so many of his minions are not actually demons. Cambions, harpies, lamias, succubi, etc.
I got a spitballing theory.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah.
The abyss speaks to you subconsciously. The longer you're there, the more you in this instance become a demon, or become the people that stay there too long get subjugated pretty much, right?
Yeah, kind of. They get corrupted for sure.
So this could just be I'm speaking to you, and turning your gears in the way they're used to turning, in like this lawful kind of like manipulative way.
Yeah.
But you've contorted it with an outcome to be like, no, yeah, I'm here now though. I'm a demon now.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
but I am going to like continue thinking the way I did when I got here.
Right.
Just now the result is it's slightly tweaked and wrong.
Exactly. And yeah, I could definitely see that. Now, I think this is a very fun origin, but the more official origin is very different. So in the Abyss episode, we talked about the Oberiths and their creation of the Tonari in their war against the Wind Dukes of Akka and the original Eladrin, which are not the Eladrin from the Fae. They're like good, chaotic, good, slightly or / lawful good elves from space.
Sure, yeah.
We don't need to talk about them, but the forces of law in general. We also spoke about the Tonari rebellion and the near extinction of the Oberiths. The few Oberiths that did survive fled in hiding or changed their appearance to appear to be Tonari rather than Oberith, because Tonaris will kill an Oberith if they know.
Okay.
Kind of. That's the idea anyways. So at this point, the Abyss falls into a civil war, and various powerful demons seek to gain power over all the Abyss. This is where you get like the rise of Demogorgon and Orcus and all this other stuff. Enter an ancient and powerful Oberith lord known as Pale Knight. Now, Pale Knight is a mysterious demon lord who appears as an empty flowing white shroud with the suggestion of a female form beneath it. This is a veil she wears to hide her true form, which is said to be so hideous that reality itself rejects it. and
Bummer.
And any who glimpse her real form risk both madness and death.
Sure.
She saw an opportunity for power, but she didn't wish to enter the battle and risk herself because there's a lot of powerful players at play here.
Okay.
So instead, she beckoned some mysterious and powerful entity to her realm for the purposes of impregnating her with a brood of her own children that could vie for the throne.
Don't lift up my veil.
Don't lift up my veil.
Don't do it. Just trust me. It's fine.
Now, who this entity is, no one knows. It's not written. But there's rumors abound. Some say it was Asmodeus. Some say it's one of the ancient Bernoloths from Gehenna. Some say it's a great old one. So, but none really know. I'd say the great old one's probably the most likely.
Sounds like it.
Because I don't think Asmodeus would like listen to her call. Like,
I mean, you hit all the key points of like a great old one right there, pretty much.
yeah, kinda. And she herself is much like a great old one. So regardless, she ends up giving birth to countless monsters and demons. So many that she became known as the mother of demons. She birthed many powerful and legendary entities, but only one became powerful enough to contend for the throne of the Abyss. Only one would surpass the power of even herself. That child was Graz'zt, the Dark Prince.
Oh, okay, for sure.
That's his more official
But
origin.
he's good looking.
He's very good looking.
She was trying really hard to make something more ugly than her, so she wasn't that like place marker, for the bottom of the barrel, and it just fucking backfired.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like the
okay, so this is another kind of factor that makes it so mysterious who it was she bred with, because she has countless children and none of them are anything alike. They come in all shapes and sizes, types, and yeah.
I think it's just like like whatever data is trying to like form the child is malfunctioning because it cannot compute the like ugliness.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So Gratz's domain, known as the Triple Realm, is officially actually named Azagrat. It takes up the abyss layers of 45, 46, and 47, even though we know the numbers don't actually matter.
No, they don't.
But that's how they're numbered.
Yeah.
The first and most important feature of Azagrat is the fact that all three of the planes are finite in size. In order to maintain a tight control over all three layers amidst a three-way war, Graz'zt has had to use his power to intertwine these three realms together and quarantine two off from the rest of the abyss, with only one serving as like the entrance.
Okay.
By doing this, he made them finite, though, so they're not infinite. They're huge, but they're not infinite.
Done fucked up.
Nah, I mean, he did what he had to do, I guess.
At some point, it stops mattering, like how infinite it is.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a sec for a quick joke?
Sure.
I just think Wizards of the Coast should make alcohol, and they should start with Azagrat, the Triple Realm vodka.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
I don't understand the joke.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Keep going.
So we're not going to get into the finer details of Azagrat due to there being so much info. There was a lot of info, way more than like Thanatos, or even Demogorgon's realm, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head.
Not going to talk about it.
Sure. But so Azagrat is definitely getting its own Atlas Exteris episode. But here's the short of it. Azagrat's 3 planes are home to a variety of environments, including demonic forests, salt marshes, and windswept plains. But the most notable locations are the various metropoli or metropolises. Metropolises. All of which are full of chattering markets and pleasure palaces that attract trade and visitors from across the cosmos. Here they come seeking obscure magical lore and items, perverse delights, and valuable information. Here the demons present themselves with a veneer of civility and courtly poise. So it's not like all the other layers where like every turn is a danger, and any encounter with a demon is an encounter with a wild animal that's going to eat you.
But it does seem like people are some sort of people are visiting them a lot. There's a lot of traffic into like,
there's a lot of
areas.
Power to be gained from like going to these outer realms, which is really kind of built upon in the Planescape setting.
You find like weapons of corruption and
of corruption. You make deals. You know, you yourself are probably pretty powerful coming to these places, so you can come to these places and find like more ancient magics and stuff to like further yourself.
It's like merchant trade and stuff. When I read that in the episode 100, we'll call it, that was just like so striking to me. Like what people are like going here, and then the more we talked about like planar lore, this is like normal.
It is. Well, depending on your setting, Planescape very normal. Greyhawk less so, maybe.
But like it's a power scaling thing, right? Because you have to be so powerful to do that.
Yeah, in Forgotten Realms it seems even less so, from my experience personally.
So people's going here getting their pleasures on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. So like I was saying, the demons here have this veneer of civility and even courtly poise and like just manners and politeness.
Okay.
Merchants that come here are actually protected by decree of Graz'zt. This works despite all the chaotic, destructive nature of demons because they fear Graz'zt very, very deeply. Graz'zt has a very tyrannical and tight grip on the populace. He exterminates anyone who isn't 100% loyal. And anyone he deems not loyal or possibly not loyal, it's an instant kill.
Okay.
Well, not instant kill. It's not like he's got like
he's burning a level 9 slot on you.
But your death is imminent unless you leave like before it's too late.
Oh shit.
So yeah, he
that's pretty normal for like the demons that serve you to kind of like take on the persona of the demon lord of the area, right? Like the layer of the abyss kind of has a feel to it.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate as well. So I think a lot of demons just kind of bend to his will, but also they know if they don't, they're fucked.
Yeah,
and like he's basically got spies everywhere. So like it's really difficult for other demon lords to infiltrate with spies of their own.
God, it's just another layer of hell.
Yeah, that's why they call it the Little Hells, because it's very much like the 9 Hells, but, you know, tucked away in the abyss. So Graz'zt himself dwells in the capital city of Zelatar that exists on all 3 planes simultaneously. His lair is called the Argent Palace. It's an abode of 66 ivory towers connected by 100 cold mirrored halls.
Oh, wow.
It is visible from all neighborhoods on all planes of Zelatar, and it's a source of fear to all demonic inhabitants. Any inhabitant deemed disloyal receives an invitation to the Argent Palace for a personal audience with Graz'zt himself. Once they enter the palace, they're never seen again.
Sick.
Right. So to make a long story short, Graz'tz's power comes in a form of connections, political connections, various demon lords such as Zack Moyes and Pale Knight. So Zack Moyes is an interesting one because she's a demon lord.
Okay.
And she has a pretty cordial relationship, even a strong alliance with Demogorgon. But for some reason, she also has an alliance with Graz'zt, who is a mortal enemy of Demogorgon.
She likes pleasure.
I don't know about that. Does she?
Well,
she's a fungus monster.
This seems like the place to get it.
She's a fungus monster.
Fungus has needs too.
So yeah, back to connections. So political connections like that, trade connections made through the exotic marketplace of Azagrat, connections to his cults on the mortal plane providing souls and powerful persons to his cause, and connections to his countless consorts across the multiverse giving birth to his half-fiend children.
Oh shit.
Many of which are powerful entities in their own right. Some even have reached like demigodhood. Like, I think in the Vecna episode, we talked about Ayaz, who was a demigod that Vecna tricked.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember the details of the story, but Ayaz is actually a child of Graz'zt. I can't remember who his mother is.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, and he's a demigod.
They're just like sprinkled out throughout the lore.
Exactly. Yeah, very much so.
Wow.
So, like I said before, his ties with Igwilv will get their own episode because she'll get her own episode. But before we move on to like the stats and the regional effects and layer effects and all that other stuff, do you have any questions about Graz'zt?
I have a quick little sprinkle of flavor for the layer, or the realm, the layer, whatever we're calling it at this point. Propaganda posters everywhere that say "Remain loyal" or something to that effect.
Oh yeah, I can see propaganda posters all over Azergat.
And the tagline at the bottom of all of them is "Or your ass is Graz'zt."
Oh my god. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Stats.
Let's get to the stats. So, Demonlords are obviously very, very powerful creatures, even more powerful than dragons. And thus, they also have regional effects, much like dragons do. Mm-hmm. And layer effects if you happen to attack them in their fucking lair like an idiot. So, regional effects. A region containing Graz'zt's lair is warped by his magic. First of all, flat surfaces within 1 mile of the layer that are made of stone or metal become highly reflective, as though polished to shine. These surfaces become supernaturally mirror-like. Wild beasts within 6 miles of layer break into frequent conflicts and coupling, mirroring the behavior that occurs during their mating season.
Okay.
So yeah, he just has this effect of debauchery about him.
So is this like also a narcissistic thing with all the mirror stuff? Must be, right?
I think so. It's not really touched upon, but we know that his lair has halls basically made of mirror.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, it definitely can be like this narcissistic twist where he as much as he loves like the pleasure and the debauchery, but when it comes down to it, it's all about love of self, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely see that. That's a really good insight because I didn't think of that.
Whatever I'm up to, I'm a watch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Moving on. If a humanoid spends at least 1 hour within 1 mile of the lair, that creature must succeed a DC 23 Wisdom saving throw or descend into madness.
That's really high.
So yeah, they really added this whole madness effect to the Demonlords, where yeah, you just don't want to be near one because you'll go crazy.
Okay.
And then there's like a madness chart where you roll a D100, and basically the way they do this is like, you roll a D100 and whatever you land on, you gain a personality flaw that kind of takes over your persona.
Okay.
So just to read them off, they're listed in this kind of like first person kind of way. So if you roll anywhere from a 1 to a 20, your flaw becomes, nothing is more important to me than admiring my own reflection. Anyone who doesn't appreciate my beauty is a fool.
It has to be that then.
Right.
Okay.
The second one is, sex is a great solution to all life's problems. Why doesn't anyone else get this?
I lost my sword, man. Can we fuck it out?
Right.
Somebody please.
The next one is, my appetite for delicious, pleasurable substances knows no bounds. I'll do anything to get more. Rumors spread easily, and I know many of them. Who cares if they're true?
Okay.
To properly honor my dark, beautiful lord, I must prepare intricate, debauched rituals.
No,
and then
what?
And then the final one, anyone who doesn't do exactly what I say deserves no happiness.
Oh, man.
So these are personality flaws that take over your persona.
Will, when we started the show, I didn't think you were going to say any of those kind of sentences.
Me neither, man.
You said a bunch of them
I said a bunch in a row. Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Dungeons & Dragons, what?
Dungeons & Dragons. What is this?
It's got everything. It literally has everything.
Literally has everything. So those are the regional effects.
Okay.
Let's get into the layer effects.
Yeah.
So if you attack Graz'zt in his lair, bad shit happens. All layer actions are going to occur on initiative count of 20. We talked about initiative count of layer actions in the Red Dragons episode.
Yeah, you just toss them in there up top, pretty much.
Indeed. So basically, it's two actions that Graz'zt can take. The first one is Graz'zt casts command spell on every creature of his choice in the lair. He needn't see each one, but he must be aware that an individual is in the lair to target that creature. He issues the same command to all the targets. Now, this is powerful because his lair is fucking huge. And if he just needs to be aware that you're somewhere in the thing, he could do this from like 50 towers away.
Yeah, man, mirror tricks. He can see everything, but just he has one mirror that he angles and he can see everywhere in his fucking palace.
I like that idea. That's a cool idea.
It's probably true.
It's probably true. So the other action he can take is smooth surfaces within the layer become as reflective as a polished mirror. Until a different layer action is used, creatures within the layer have disadvantage on stealth checks to made to hide. So yeah, exactly what you just said. You can literally just use the mirrors to see shit.
He's gonna make you think. He's gonna make you be nasty, and he's gonna make you watch. and he's gonna watch.
So true. That's exactly what he do. So those are his layer actions. Let's actually get into his actual stats.
Yeah.
So this is where things get a little bit. I don't want to say iffy, but like this is where power levels get a little confusing.
This is where it's gonna get iffy in this episode.
This is where power levels become a little bit confusing because I personally feel like a demon lord should outpower an ancient dragon.
Okay.
Like, do you feel the same way? Don't get me wrong. I mean, it should be kind of close-ish because there aren't that many ancient dragons to begin with. Like, a dragon that reaches that level of power is really like a credit to its species in a way.
If you're saying that, I think Orcus or likewise should be able to beat like an ancient red dragon. I think like 9 times out of 10, depending on where it's like that fucking show they had on like a Discovery Channel where they're like, let's pin a polar bear versus a fucking tiger and see what happens. And it's like they spend most of the episode talking about like where is it going down though?
Yeah, obviously those
it should be going down in the fucking room every time with nothing in it.
Yeah, in a vacuum.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I agree.
So let's talk about it in that aspect.
Right. And in that aspect, I think a demon lord period should win against an ancient dragon of any kind.
Because if a demon lord shows up in a dragon lair, who fucking knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah. 20 initiative
that being
is good.
said, so I think Orcus and Demogorgon are both challenge rating 26. So by default, all the other demon lords have to fall somewhere below that.
Yeah.
Problem is, a lot of ancient dragons are either above or somewhere in that vicinity. So Graz'zt is at a challenge rating 24, which I think is outdone by a red dragon. I can't remember what the challenge rating was, but I think the red dragon was either 24, 25, or 26.
I was going to say 23. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. So if it's less than this, I think that's fair. If it's more, I think that isn't quite accurate. But I mean, challenge rating is bullshit anyway, so we spent enough time talking about it.
Well, you can also talk about strategy. Like, is the dragon not going to land? That might play into it.
Yeah, that's valid. So Graz'zt has a armor class of 20, natural armor. Like, I mean, the dude's shirtless, and he just has a 20 armor class. So good for him.
His chest is suspiciously shiny, almost like a mirror.
Well, it does shine like obsidian.
Right.
They say that.
Oh,
so
shit.
There
I
it
was
is.
right on accident.
Yeah, indeed. So his hit points, he's got 346 hit points. He can walk 40 feet. He's got a speed of 40 feet.
That's pretty good.
Looking at his ability scores, he's got 22 strength, 15 dex, 21 con, 23 intelligence, 21 wisdom, 26 charisma.
Okay.
So very powerful, as he should be. He's a demon lord. He resists cold, fire, and lightning damage. He's immune to poisoning damage, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage that's non-magical. He's also immune to charm, exhaustion, fear, and poisoned conditions.
Do any of those line up with like devil stuff? Are these like devil flavored stats? I have a hard time like just pulling that out of my head.
I'm trying to remember Orcus and all them. I think demons a lot of time are tied to resisting cold, fire, and lightning. Like the base elements, for some reason, demons are tied to resisting those.
Okay.
But as for the charmed, exhaustion, frightened, and poison thing, I think it's just because he's a demon lord.
Yeah, okay.
So he's just above those things, especially the charm part because he's Graz'zt. He has true sight, 120 feet, and he can speak all languages, and he's telepathic. So
nice.
good for him.
What's the range on telepathy?
120 feet.
Oh, nice.
So pretty.
That's really far.
Yeah, it is. So his first feature is called Shape Changer. Graz'zt can use his action to polymorph into a form that resembles a medium humanoid or back into his true form. Aside from his size, his statistics are the same in each form. Any equipment he is wearing or carrying isn't transformed. He also has innate spellcasting with a charisma. Based off his charisma, the spell save DC is 23. Quite high, but it should be.
Yeah.
He at will, he can cast Charm Person, Crown of Madness, Detect Magic, Dispel Magic, and Dissonant Whispers.
Those are all pretty good.
Yeah, and they don't take slots. He could just do them over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
3 times a day, he can cast Counterspell, Darkness, Dominate Person, Sanctuary, Telekinesis, and Teleport. Once a day, he can cast Dominate Monster and Greater Invisibility. He has Legendary Resistance, so 3 times a day, he can just decide to save something if he fails. He has magic resistance. Graz'zt has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. So he's never going to fail a save, like ever, basically. Magic weapons. Grazz's weapons attacks are considered magical, which makes sense. He has a giant magical greatsword.
If you're power gaming against this, you take that into account, like casting spells that don't require or like have good have
spells that don't require saves.
Well, or they do require saves, but you'd still do like a fair amount of terrible shit.
I think in this case, you'd want to focus on spell attacks versus spell saves.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like, he's got high AC, but
you'd rather roll to beat him than have him roll to beat you.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's got advantage and legendary resistance. Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So he multi-attack. Graz'zt can attack twice with his Wave of Sorrow. His Wave of Sorrow attack is a plus 13 to hit, a reach of 10 feet because it's so fucking big. It does 46 plus 6 slashing damage plus 3d6 acid damage. So that's a total of 76 plus 6.
This is like there's so much like, sexual eroticism and stuff like in the lore. Mm-hmm. And then it's like wave of sadness. It's like, are you empty inside at the end of the day?
It causes so much death that it causes nothing but sorrow. What? No, the wave of sorrow. No. What?
I thought.
No, anyways.
Yeah, you know what I thought.
He can also teleport at will, like I said. So Graz'zt magically teleports along with any equipment he's wearing or carrying up to 120 feet to an unoccupied space he can see. And you just do that every single turn. Mm-hmm. Like, he can really kite you out by 120 feet teleportation. Now I'm over here casting spells. Now I'm over here casting spells.
Right.
And if you get close enough, he's got a fucking greatsword and a giant shield. Like...
And it's magical. It's like regular magical teleportation, or is it like a special ability? Because there's a spell that locks teleporters down.
It's not a spell, but if you have a spell that can lock teleporters down, it probably would work. Maybe.
I think it's like a like an 8th or 9th level spell, and it like stops people from teleporting by like, it's just ridiculous. Like, but it's all magic based, I think.
Interesting.
There are people on the other end of this show that's screaming with the spell name.
Right. Now, if that spell makes it so that the teleporter has to succeed a save, not going to be very effective because he has advantage on all saves.
That's true.
Against magical effects.
Fuck.
So yeah, those are his normal actions and his features. Now let's get into his legendary actions because he has those too. He's got 3 legendary action points that he can spend on 3 different legendary actions that he has choices from. So one of his legendary actions is he can just attack with his Wave of Sorrow yet again.
Okay.
His second action is called Dance My Puppet. Once one creature charmed by Graz'zt that Graz'zt can see must use its reaction to move up to its speed as Graz'zt directs. So he can just control people. His third action is called Sow Discord. Graz'zt casts Crown of Madness or Dissonant Whispers. So he can do that on an off turn.
Yeah.
And actually...
Also like motion manipulation inherent in those spells.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last, he actually has a 4th action he can make. He can use his teleport action on the off turn.
Poof, poof.
So at will
just teleportation.
All over the fucking place. He can teleport 240 feet around.
He's just like, I'm on the ceiling. Now I'm on the floor.
Yeah. No, this dude's a force of nature, for sure. He's very scary.
See you from everywhere.
Yeah. Any questions about Graz'zt?
Man. So we're going with Graz'zt?
Graz'zt? Yeah, Graz'zt.
I like it.
I keep saying Graz'zt.
It's better with my grass joke.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Very much so.
Okay.
It's the only thing that makes it possible, really.
Do you have any questions about Graz'zt?
No, I mean, I guess kind of, but not really. I've done enough research. I know enough about Graz'zt.
What would your question be?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head.
Why? Like, why wizards?
No, I think Graz'zt is really cool. Like, he's one of my favorite Demonlords. I think his lore is really rich and detailed. I like Graz'zt. I think he's super fucking cool.
It is a cool I think
he's
his layer of the abyss is super unique.
Yeah,
I think he's super unique as a demon.
Yeah,
lord.
I think he's way more interesting to have as your big bad than Orcus. Let's just say.
Well, yeah, even though I mean, if you put them in an empty room together, they're gonna duke it out. Orcus is gonna whoop ass.
Probably. Yeah,
but like, as a villain. Yeah, totally way more interesting.
And I think that's what it comes down to. I think Graz'zt makes a way better villain than, let's say, Orcus. Who is kind of just this big, scary asshole. Yeah,
it's Godzilla-esque.
Right, exactly.
Well, a little, kind of, Orcus a little more...
more nuanced than, say, Demogorgon, but still.
So this guy's like... Asmo.
Extra nuanced.
He's like Demon Asmo.
Yeah, he's very much like Demon Asmodeus. And that's the thing that's so... interesting to me about Asmodeus is how nuanced and interesting Asmo is. Like, there's so much to him, and it's very much the same with Graz'zt.
Yeah, this guy was his protege in one of the lore.
Yeah, exactly. And you could go with that.
I mean, it adds up, really.
It does add up very well. I really like that idea. But I also like the original origin as well. I like both origins, but they can't be simultaneously true.
No, because they're too conflicting side by side.
But they're both very cool, and you can go with either one.
I mean, that's really great for world building options. What's the official 5e one? It's the
I mean,
Just
it's
a
not,
quick recap?
it's not literally stated, but it basically falls in line with all the older editions where he's the son of Pale Knight.
Right. Okay. That's what it
Who
was.
he still has a working relationship with. Like, she's one of his allies.
Okay.
Right. And that's part because she wants him to be the Prince of Demons.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. With that being said, I think we can call it a game.
Well, we're not going to call it a game because we're going to get ready for our long rest.
Oh, that's true. We got to get ready for our long rest.
We do that now.
Yeah, it's a thing we do now. So yeah, I want to tell everyone about TDC Plays. It's a YouTube channel, a sister YouTube channel, where we hear the Dungeoncast play video games, and it's really cool. It's really fun.
You get to hear my my big announcer voice. And
yeah, you do on Smash Sunday.
You get to
when
hear
we
me.
play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
You get to hear me eat Chipotle.
That's true. Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah.
We got a Zelda 2 playthrough going on right now. The Pokemon Heart Gold randomizer Nuzlocke is kind of coming slowly but surely to an end. We're getting to the tail end of it, and shit's getting really exciting.
How many hours have you clocked on Pokemon? Typically, I clock like 60, 70 hours on Pokemon.
So when it comes to actual like playthrough on the channel, when it comes to the storyline, probably somewhere around 20-ish hours. But the amount of grinding I've had to do to make up for Pokemon deaths, I think I'm at like 38 hours right now.
Yeah,
and I'm not even doing the Kanto part of the journey.
Are you done with gym leaders yet?
Spoilers.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could say yes. I just beat the 8th gym, but that hasn't aired yet.
Well, this has some time before it drops.
That's true. So it might have aired by the time this airs.
Okay, well, get ready for good stuff because the end of Pokemon games, like right around 8th badge. I feel like 8th badge is when the next game starts. Like, you get this first portion of the game. It's like, oh, learn the basics and fight a bunch of trainers and grind it out. But then the 8th gym badge is like, they turn up the heat on you.
Oh yeah, shit got real hard, real fast after this last episode that just aired. So lots of exciting stuff.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, go check it out. The links in the description. If you like video games and you like us here at the Dungeoncast, you will like that channel. I guarantee it.
Yep. We got other projects. One of them is a live game that we play, Super Quest Saga. Congratulations to everyone that Hackstick Dice. You'll be announced on our next recording set.
Yes,
not the next episode, the one after, because we record in batches of 2.
It's true.
So, congratulations to that person. Thank you to everybody who's been getting on iTunes, leaving those reviews. It's been awesome. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm posting a lot of updates there. Follow Will on Twitter at the Dungeoncast. You can hit us up thedungeoncast@gmail.com, like I mentioned in the short rest. Do we have any other projects to plug?
No, I think that's it for now. I think that's good.
Have a good day.
Yeah, we're gonna call it a game. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
The Dungeoncast.